Good day, everyone. I'm going to talk about Cuomo, and I'm going to talk about impeachment because I'm getting real tired of this. And I thought I knew what it was, and I'm watching Chris Cuomo on. Why I never have these lined up, I don't know. I'm watching Chris Cuomo on CNN, and he's arguing with somebody about the impeachment, and if it's political, if it's legal, if it's political. Obviously, it's legal. Chris actually said it wasn't in the Constitution. So I'm like, he's an idiot. And then he said, this is political, not legal. Okay. And then it was, the person who he was speaking with said, well, what crime has he committed that he's being impeached for which he's being impeached? And Chris Cuomo said, well, you don't have to have a crime because it's political, not legal. Now, okay. I had to look this up. So I looked it up. I said, let me read about impeachment. Let me read the articles of impeachment. Yes, Chris Cuomo over at CNN, most trusted in net. Come on, man. Of course, the article of impeachment, it's in the Constitution. I just read it. I'll read where it's from, actually. Articles of impeachment, as it were. It doesn't take that much, okay, to figure these things out and to look them up and take a moment. Yeah, it's a lot of reading, but Article 1, Section 2, Clause 5, the House of Representatives shall have the sole power of impeachment. So Chris Cuomo at CNN, that's a pretty simple one to get wrong. And I know that, you have a whole staff behind you and you get very busy with these things. But in the, 10 seconds it took me to look that up, I figured it out. The sad part is people will actually watch Chris Cuomo and believe him. Okay, yes, it's in the Constitution. I'm reading it right now, unless the internet's lying to me. It's never done that before. So, the Senate shall have the sole power to try all impeachments. So, the House has the power, shall have the power of impeachment, and the Senate has the sole power to try all impeachments. So what this comes down to is anybody within the House, this is how it gets initiated. You think the president did something, but what does he have to do? Can it just be you don't like him, or does he actually have to do something? Chris Cuomo, yes, he has to do something. Yes, it is a crime. It's a crime because it's a violation of this article. That's what makes it a crime. Okay, because we as a society have agreed to put this in the Constitution and to keep it there, and that this is a law. It is legal, Chris. My God. Okay, I'm feeling very nostalgic today anyways, got my dress shirt on. So, member of the House of Representatives, or Congress, the lower house. They think he did something. Treason, bribery, or high crimes and misdemeanors. Now, the SCOTUS, Supreme Court of the United States, Supreme Court has not defined what exactly high crimes and misdemeanors are, how they are defined. But it sounds pretty bad. So I don't know, again, if this fits the definition, because there really isn't a definition. That is ambiguous. Okay, so if you're Chris Cuomo, remember Trusted News Network, you need to figure these things out. You need to be unbiased about it, and you're making these rash assumptions, and it's making you look pretty bad. So let's go on. So I think the president's done something. I'm a congressperson. I can initiate an inquiry by basically telling the appropriate authority. Where is it here? I just had it. Okay. Focus the main initiation. The impeachment proceedings may be commenced in the House of Representatives by a member declaring a charge of impeachment on his or her own initiative, by a member presenting a memorial listing charges under oath. So you swear that whatever you're charging against the person, you're saying against them. That's really small. I have to read it far away. Or by a member depositing a resolution in the hopper, the infamous hopper, which is then referred to the appropriate committee. The impeachment process may be triggered by non-members when the Judicial Conference of the United States suggests that the House may wish to consider impeachment of a federal judge, blah, 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 blah. So you're bringing it to somebody's attention. It doesn't take that much. So the resolution is pushed forward. Then they have an inquiry, okay? They get together and they babble about it. What does that take to initiate that? It takes more than half, a majority of those present to agree to an inquiry. So why haven't they done that? Is there not a House majority that would vote on impeachment? Is that why we're seeing these polls? I didn't know that these were the procedures of impeachment. And I think people need to read a lot more and figure out how these things are working. Then you'll see why your lawmakers are doing the things they're doing. So, congressperson complains about the president, throws something in the hopper, does whatever. Okay, an outside entity reports it, whatever. Then they can immediately say, "Let's vote." Yes, and if more than half say yes, then you start the initiation of the impeachment process. Now, let's say, I'm not even sure what the charge is. It's really hard to put my mind around being impeached without actionable behavior. And I'm not seeing any necessarily actionable behavior to remove him, because that's what impeachment necessarily is. At the end of it, it comes down to the way to remove a president from. At the end resolution, this is how you would remove somebody from office. So worst case scenario, he's removed from office. And best case scenario, he's not, or that it goes up for vote and it's voted down. So that's what the impeachment process is. And I think I'm an idiot for not knowing these things. It's really not that hard to find. It's not that long. And it's pretty simple English. I'm gonna list a link down below to this document, and it's pretty straightforward. But there is a lot of ambiguous behavior because they talked about impeachment prior to him being elected. Again, for what? This is with anytime you're talking about impeaching an official, tell me what they've done. Bring some evidence forward. It does seem very partisan and political. It seems extremely political. And it doesn't seem legal. Now, as far as the I'm not cooperating with the investigation, there hasn't been a House initiative for the vote to impeach. And I will tell you this: I'm on the side on this case. He is under no obligation to help anybody, unless he would be subpoenaed, in my opinion. Now, has he been subpoenaed for this specific thing? Look, there's plenty of times, what is it, every time I talk to any criminal lawyer, what will they say? You do not talk to the police. Why? Because anything that you say can and will be held against you. Not to help you, never held against you. You don't talk to cops. Now, I'm not saying this is criminal. I know it's not necessarily the best analogy, but yeah, if somebody's investigating you and no, I don't help out. I'm not going to help you help. I'm not going to help you hurt me. And I don't begrudge him for that. I don't think anybody should. It's my God, everybody who's investigated, or talk to any lawyer. There's that oath is people don't lie and they don't protect their interest. Of course they do. And I think it's smart that he doesn't do that. I do think that he should politically do it, be a little more transparent about it, or at least offer a little more help, just as an image issue. But I don't think he's under an obligation at this point. There is also, that I looked up, executive privilege, which does allow a sitting president, to not participate or cooperate in an investigation if it does hinder or would hurt national security. I'm not saying this is. I'm just saying that's an exception to the I'm going to. In fact, Barack Obama pulled executive privilege by not getting when it was about the Fast and the Furious, which was a whole debacle. And well, we don't need to get in that, but executive privilege is used. It's used on both sides. It was placed there for national security. What is the good of the whole nation? Which is also why the impeachment procedures are put this way too. What is the good for the whole nation? And Chris Cuomo needs to step back and do a little reading. I mean, they hide this information in books. It's tough to find. I get it, okay? But I'm just a guy sitting here listening to what he says and trying to figure out where he's right and where he's wrong. So he is right about a few things, but he is wrong about a few things too. But read it for yourself, tell me what you think. And try to look at this from a clearly non-biased perspective if you can, okay? No, that's everything.